Good morning, Midnight's Edge fans. We're here to tell you that we have so much more to offer you now at our Mixed Tees store. Not just t-shirts and hoodies, but we do have plenty of those, and new designs for that matter. You can also get mugs, and of course our brand new limited Amber Turds stained blanket. That's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for midnightsedge in the morning. The gang is ready to go and it's time for the show. It's time for midnightsedge in the morning.
I forgot to unmute. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the program. I am Don Gutters. We have Scribe Light back with us. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing all right. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for having me on. I'm really excited, in maybe some sardonic ways, to talk about.
Yes, because Michael took the number one spot again last night.
Oh no!
No,
Hi,
I
Chris.
talk about the Punisher. And we also have Chris Brawley. That is correct.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Tom, if you had seen the Monday it took the top spot.
Yeah, yep. Technically, yes, it was Monday, yes.
Yeah, and I'm so glad Scribe's on here because he is our resident Punisher fan critic.
Along with Andre, yeah.
No, second at best to Andre. trust
Well,
me.
of course. He's the main man.
Yeah, well, it's in this particular case, it's a very, very slim distance between the first and the second spot, especially now when Scribe has admitted the mistakes of dirty laundry.
Yes, and that will come up in our discussion today as well. I already know.
Oh yeah, I mean, hell yeah, it absolutely will. I mean, you saw that.
We'll see if we're both thinking the same thing. Yeah, we'll get there.
I promise you we are. But yeah, greetings everyone. Finally, the day is here. It's Punisher Day. We'll get into that. But we have other news to discuss today as well. It's actually been a relatively news-heavy day, all things considered. So we have a couple of news items, even some involving some politics, don't we, Tom?
Well, I'm just surprised we're talking about the Punisher today because, I mean, this thing is not appropriate. Oh, this thing ruined my fucking joke.
Oh,
Stupid fucking thing.
Punisher.
I love that.
Sorry, it
That's
was
Black
better.
Cat. No wonder. I think
It's Black Widow.
Scar.
I have to get Andre that shirt.
ScarJo was right.
What is up with StreamYards lately? I'm so pissed.
Well, it's enshittification.
Shitification is correct, yes.
Yeah.
It's true of all things. It's enshittification in literally everything.
It's like, you've asked for all these great things here at StreamYard, but we didn't listen to a goddamn word you said. We added a bunch of shit you don't need. And we probably fucked it up in the process. Yeah. And then did you hear that Google had some update that the AI decided to just do on its own and they don't know what the fuck it was, I guess? I don't even know. So yeah, there's
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. So
AI doing something unexpected. Amazing.
Yeah. I don't know if there's been any updates on that, but if anybody wants to fill us in the chat. But in the meantime, speaking of the chat, we got Jim Henson himself in the chat.
Wow.
How you doing, Jim? Says, wife heard you talking Doomsday last week. Asked if Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Iron Man. I told her about Doom halfway through the explanation. She held up her hand and said, not interested. She's not as normie as you get.
She's about.
It's about as normie as you get. Sorry. My eyes are still adjusting to the screen. Yeah.
Well, first of all, thanks for the support, and it's not much appreciated. It does help us keep our lights on, and we surely do need that right now due to the AI taking over YouTube. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, no, I fear that this is going to be a relatively common theme going forward, that Doomsday is not going to awaken the interest that people hope. But again, the whole purpose of that movie, as we've heard from a number of sources, is just to reawaken interest in Marvel. So you don't have to. be interested up front. The idea is that you'll be interested again after you've seen the movie. That at least is Marvel's hope.
And we'll see how that works out. But I think Jay Henson is bringing up a very good point here. There's a lot of normies, I think, that may have been checked out, and I'm just curious, especially considering the early box office numbers we're getting for Motu, how this is going to pan out. And I said it earlier, last week? It's the two most disappointing movies of the year are going to be Dune and Doomsday, and you can add Odyssey in there too, because we haven't really discussed that too much. I think I brought up that, I saw both trailers, and neither one of them made me want to rush out to the theater to see it. They got some murmurs in the audience, but they didn't get the reaction things like Scary Movie 6 did. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think?
Well, we haven't spoken about Odyssey, but after I saw the most recent trailer, I actively do not want to see it.
I swear I talked about this last week, but
yeah, but I wasn't there. That would have been when I was.
Oh, okay, I was going to say I thought I did, but
yeah.
Because I mentioned that second trailer sucked balls. I'm like, it looks horrible.
The dialogue in the second trailer is what caused me to make this poster, because I was like, there's, and I think Critical Drinker made a video on this. He says, there's an expectation when you have a period piece kind of movie that you have the language be more formal to reflect a different time and things. So you hear these characters say, your daddy's coming home, or where's my dad? Yeah. And all this other sort of let's go and all this. It just felt wrong. You have and just this poster that I found. Does that longboat belong in that era? I mean, I understand it doesn't have to be historically accurate. At the same time, Nolan just came out and said, "Oh, we don't have an orchestra in this movie because there weren't orchestras at that time." So he's fine with some anachronisms, but not with others or something. I don't know. But anyway, it looks like trash, honestly.
I don't know, but
there wasn't microphones or fucking cameras back then either.
There's going to be some.
Just to add to that, somebody made the point that Nolan is better when he is handling scientific subjects that can be explained scientifically, and this is fantasy. So he's getting out of his lane. There are the trust Nolan bros out there, but he came out and they did confirm that Elliot Page is portraying Achilles, the ghost of Achilles. And they did confirm what's her name is playing two roles. One of them, Helen of Troy. So.
Yeah, and her sister Clytemnestra. Yeah,
that's right. Lupita Nyong'o, you mean?
Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o. Yeah.
So those castings that were just rumors a few days ago have all been confirmed.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Speaking of the casting, looking at this poster right here, the names are Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, and John Bernthal. You know what I see there? 5 Marvel and 2 DC.
Good catch.
Yeah. Not that it means anything. It's just like an observation. It doesn't say anything about the movie one way or the other. But this is a nice one. Defy the source material. Yeah. That's a great poster right there.
Yeah, I just from the jump, I was like, this is a virtue signaling production. This is all. I mean, if ever there was a director who could taking the message to the top of the peak, this is it. I posted this a couple times on Twitter. I'm like, I bet you've never even read the source material. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I took Greek literature in college because I have an English degree, and so I have read the source material. It also depends on the translation, and that's something else that I've only seen in a couple of places. Is that it is said that, and I think it's been confirmed, Nolan based his script on a 2014 translation of the original Greek by a feminist activist.
Yeah.
Who changed words and things and streamlined stuff for the sake of her ideology. So you're not even getting an authentic look at the story in the first place. It's through the eyes of a feminist lens. So,
well, what we have here is a problem of brand meets stupidity. Okay, because
okay.
Nolan is somebody who you have an expectation going in already, right?
Yep.
They're selling this movie on him mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. And the thing, Andre, you mentioned the whole thing with, you see a bunch of Marvel actors and this actor. That, look, comic book movies are like making a Western with John Wayne in the 50s. Everybody did it. Like at some point, somebody has a John Wayne story that worked in the 50s or 60s because they worked with John. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing at this point. Somebody's been you've been in a comic book movie. Shit, you got some people who played 2 or 3 different comic book characters at this point. Point being that
in the 50s or in the 60s, a cop show in the 70s, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, it's like the new 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon is a Marvel movie, right? Like, so that has nothing to do with it. But my issue with this is if he was going into this this is an ultra fantastic version, I'm adding some new elements to it, something like that.
Kind of like that they've done with Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I don't think people would be messing or like be so concerned with the casting. Like even like I know Nolan would never make a music. Yeah,
right,
I know. I was just gonna say,
Over the Where Art Thou? Yeah.
Yeah, it's going in the same vein I was gonna go. Like he wouldn't make a musical, but if you were saying, okay, I'm making a musical version, kind of like with Hamilton, where I'm just gonna be mixing things up a little bit, I don't think people would care so much. But you just brought up all these red flags. And I've been saying, like I think we said this in behind the scenes. Maybe I said it on the show last week. I was like, this might be part of the final that I've talked about for a while. Like this might be the first misstep since Tenet that Nolan's going to have. And let's not forget how bad that came off. But he had COVID to hide behind that one. See, in this incident, he's going to have, everybody went to see Dune and Doomsday instead. Probably. But at the same time, I think this movie is not going to be received the way he's hoping it's going to be, because your reactions that you guys are just saying right now tell me a lot. The audience reactions I've gotten in every trailer tell me a lot. And the fact that this thing was basically conceived in the heart of the wokeness kind of makes me believe that this is going to be as woke can be. Yeah. So,
and he's out there, and Nolan's out there kind of confirming things, explaining things. There's cope going on, and that's not exactly something Nolan typically does.
And there's a reason why Mortal Kombat underperformed, and there's going to be a reason why most Masters of the Universe is probably going to underperform as well. And it goes along with the same. We will. But I'm just bringing it up now as a point because I think we're going to have the same issue here, and that is because I think Hollywood, especially men, if they even smell anything woke, they're just going to turn their nose up at it. And as far as the major stuff, they don't trust it anymore. I think that's the other problem. And Nolan is like a brand like the Marvel Universe in a way. That's kind of what I was getting at. And I think he sullied that like Angel has with the Animal Farm if this does not work out for him. Defy source material. That's right. Speaking of source material, we have Polly of Latino Slant. And I have no idea why that doesn't combine at all.
Yeah. You make
great segue.
You make a lot of source material though.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. So I made it work. How you doing this morning?
I'm well, thanks, man. Just coming off a 24-hour fast, so it was pretty intense.
Awesome. I'm about to start one myself.
I bet that coffee tastes good.
Man, you know what tasted great this morning was a hard-boiled egg with garlic.
Oh, there you
salt.
go. I was gonna say, like, I'm not even a coffee drinker, but if I hadn't had anything for 24 hours, even I'd be like, that's some damn good coffee.
I recommend fasting once a week if you can for 36 hours, if you can. It's good for you. Good for
there you go. Pack and Proton says with $5, Playmates hires lawyers to make take on Mattel over TMNT license for toys. This is an interesting turn. I'll have to look into this. I didn't know about this. Because I was just talking to somebody the other day about how the Ninja Turtles have kind of lost their home, a way of sorts. Oh, you had to use that fucking turtle?
No, that's the one this is the image Playmates put out.
I know they did. That's what I meant, but yeah.
Yeah.
So Playmates Toys has retained Reeves and Weiss to defend the company in a matter critical to protecting its brand and legacy and value. Okay, so that makes me wonder, are they really suing over the rights, or are they suing over people doing repros of stuff that they've done?
Yeah.
Is that the bigger thing?
Yeah. Right. Is this the way they're framing it? But they're really just like, you can't use those models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like this, if anything, this kind of supports what we reported, what, 2.5 years ago now, Andre? Basically the whole TMNT Mutant Mayhem thing only existed because they had to fulfill their obligation with Playmates and other licensees.
Yeah.
And the only things that were selling were the classic stuff, including the other stuff they were licensing out to other people, which they already had the deal where they must have been able to license it out. So I can see where Playmates is maybe a little pissed off about this whole situation a little bit. It might be wanting some blood. Because let's be real. I mean, Playmates has nursed Ninja Turtles for 30, 40 years through this whole thing.
At least.
At least. Yeah, yawn.
Sorry. I thought I was muted.
Jesus.
Well, even though Paulie doesn't.
I like turtles.
But what do you think about this, Andre? This is kind of an interesting turn of events, I guess.
And it wasn't a yawn, a slight to it all. Sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I used to like turtles, but I've gotten my fill with them. But I don't know. I mean, here's like the thing. It's kind of like you don't own the brand. You only paid for a license. I mean, that's going to be... I would love to see the reasoning behind, like, no, we're suing now because this is our legacy and you can't take your property back and give the license back to someone else. That seems weird to me. So I would really like to see exactly what is the basis for this lawsuit. This is the first time I see it. I haven't had time to research it. But just on the surface of it, it seems weird. I mean, yeah, best of luck to them. I mean, Playmates always was the home of Turtles. Lord knows Mattel has plenty of other things to work with. He-Man, for one. But yeah, it's just like, seems like weird reasoning. Unless there is more to it. It's just like, no, this was always ours, so now we are keeping it. Dude, you're not a co-owner of the brand itself. You're a licensee. Know your place, licensee.
Well, there's so many different moving parts to this. Like, I want to be able to get more info on it before I comment too much more. But yeah, to me, I wonder the basis that they're going after him on would be, like what I said, has to do with they're using the idea that unless you specifically make different type of turtles other than the ones that we have already put out, which is going to be damn near impossible. I don't know what their thing is here. We'll have to look into this a little bit deeper. Too bad we didn't have a lawyer on the panel or something like that.
Well, and now I'm seeing, as I continue to look around for it, I'm seeing that the original post for this was on LinkedIn, and now that post is down. So you can't you can't see. You know, LinkedIn is businesses, and it's mostly for.
It seems weird. Like, yeah.
And when you follow the link now, it just says that post is not found, and nor does it show you who posted it. So
could be a stupid turtle fan that made it up.
Could be, or it could be Playmates, and they've been advised to take that down. Who knows?
Could be, because I wondered, where does this leave the Star Trek license? I can't recall offhand. Because that's the thing. Like, it's not just Ninja Turtles that they have a big license deal with. Playmates had a deal for Star Trek for years. I don't know if they still do. So that's what I'm wondering. It just seemed like Paramount, as soon as Ellison's took over, they were pulling out of all these deals. It seemed like maybe that perhaps what it's all about is they pulled out. Is it because they announced a year before the deal was over? There could be a lot of moving parts to this we don't know yet.
Right.
If there's an actual case involved. Otherwise, I feel like it's just made up bullshit.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, so here's the thing. These are big companies and these are big lawyers. And of course, the lawyers, they are very, very happy to suck a client dry of money if they, even on a case that's not necessarily going to win them out. Yeah. But I would have to imagine that a company like Playmates, they're not going to enter a very, very expensive legal process unless they think they have a very good case. That's not something you're going to do at random.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know more details about this, because then I guess there must have been something off about the manner in which the license agreement was terminated or something like that. That has to be the ground.
That's what I'm thinking.
But if that's the case, why wait till now? Why not?
Exactly, not while it was happening.
Yeah. Why not? Like, they needed to sue them the week later,
or the day after, or whatever, where you can hop on the media
Maybe
train.
They weren't ready. Maybe they just weren't ready. You know, the license.
That's why I said they need to do this the week after, before someone else swoops in and picks it up. And 1 week is plenty. And you have like a legal team that you have on retainer anyway. 1 week is plenty for them to go through the resignation, go through the contract, file the necessary paperwork. Well, they can't do it the next day, but they can do it next week.
There might be one other thing I could think of. And again, I wish we had at least a corporate lawyer on hand to ask some of these questions to, because it's a very interesting topic and kind of usually in our purview, in our zone, especially with being TMNT for me. But it just makes me wonder if it was because they made that big announcement and then turn around, and maybe there was a deal that in their separation clause that they weren't going to be signing up a license with another company for X amount of years. Could that be? Could they have like jumped the gun on announcing, yeah, we're going to do a deal with Mattel, and they have to wait till next year? Kind of like they jumped the gun a year and ahead of announcing that they were done with Playmates? Because technically their deal is
weird. Sorry, carry on.
I was just say, all I was going to finish was with this. Technically, their deal, they still have a deal with Playmates until the end of the year, I think, is where it goes out to.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
If that makes sense, what I'm saying is them announcing that they're doing a deal with Mattel before the deal with Playmates is even up. Is there maybe a legal precedent there that could be in play?
I think the point is, why did they wait so long to do anything, right? And I feel like they might have been caught flat-footed. And then they realized, maybe upon further review, or got another law.
They might have found out with that announcement that they weren't going to renew their contract with them. That could very well have happened.
Yeah. Or they've gone through their contracts and said, wait a minute, they can't do what they're doing.
Well, that's what I was saying is like, maybe there's like a 3-year thing in their contract where after their contracts ended, they can't sign a deal with another toy company or something.
Yeah.
That's very possible. Because that's even if Paulie's here, like even actors run into certain contracts and shit where they can't do certain things sometimes too that are kind of weird like that.
You have that in the world of finance. Like,
yeah, that's what I was getting at.
You're like a star broker or something like that. Typically, you have like a 6 month to 1 year period where you cannot work for a competitor while all your knowledge becomes obsolete.
All I could tell you, as far as like with actors, especially the ones that can afford it when they get to that level, you'll really hear a lot about their lawyer representing them.
Right.
Not really the agent or the manager anymore.
Yeah.
It's that really entertainment law lawyer, which we are friends of with a few, and in fact we're friends of one that covers what's his name, Shane, the comedian Shane.
I forget.
He was on the roast.
Shane Gillis.
Yes.
Yes, that's the guy. But you're. Go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
Very interesting, Tom. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, but like you said, lawyers. Like, yeah, you get to this point, and I think that might have more to do with it than anything. If there isn't even a lawsuit here, this could just be some Fugazi bullshit made up by Ninja Turtle fans. But I could see that being a bigger issue if like they're not even done with their contract with Playmates and they're already announcing that they're starting a contract with Mattel, and there's supposed to be some sort of moratorium there or some other issue that they're not, doing or jumping the gun on. Who knows? But we'll have to look into this, and I'll see what I can find out about it. In the meantime, let's see what you guys are talking about otherwise. We got Hyperguyver saying, rip Donald Gibb. Yeah, 2 actors from Nerds we lost already recently, and sadly we lost Ogre. So yeah, Ogre. That's right, yes. Classic actor there. Didn't do a whole lot of other things, but well known for Ogre.
Bloodsport. He did a lot.
That's what I mean. He did a few
lot.
things, but not like as memorable as those two.
To me, Bloodsport is the really memorable one that he did.
Well, that's the beauty of a character actor, right? Is that you can do one thing and you're remembered for it, but you're working for decades because of that one performance. Good, cheers on him. I remember him in a great episode of the X-Files. And it's just great that he gave us so much entertainment, man. You know, rest in peace.
Yeah, indeed.
Donald.
And I love Bloodsport as much as the next man, but you ask 10 people in a room if they've seen Bloodsport, and I bet you the answer is
No, you're right.
no.
No, yeah. I'm just.
But you ask those
reinforcing
same
what
10
you
people
said.
if they've seen Nerds, and they probably have. But I'm just saying. Then again, it could be flipped now because they've kind of been trying to hide Revenge of the Nerds. Mark Fields sends in at $1.99, says, positive vibes to you all and have a wonderful day. Well, thank you.
Hi, Mark.
I appreciate that. And he also reminds us to subscribe. It says, I thought he said subscribe because I saw the subscribe. But I'll do subscribe to them, but also says hello to Scribe, Andre, Chris, and of course myself. Thank you.
What the hell, man? What's up, Mark?
You weren't here yet.
Lucho, Mark.
You
I
were
want
not
another.
here
I
yet.
want at least a 99-cent super chat right now.
Don't you do that to him.
No.
Polly.
Chopped liver.
We're trying to make money here, dog. Come on.
I know, but come on.
Right, Andre?
Don't be doing that.
No,
Garvin-
I'm actually trying to make you money.
Thank you, Mark.
I know,
Don't
but
you tell me what to do or what not to do. Pay up that money,
we
Mark.
don't need that.
Poly solidarity.
Okay, we got to get to the Punisher here, so let's finish up these super chats for the morning. Garvin Ambrose sent us a Rumble rant on the Rumble side to say, am I late? What did I miss? No, you're very early for yourself today,
Maybe that's
Garvin.
an
You're
old
here.
Yeah,
You're here very much on time.
Right. You got to save that one, Garvin.
Justin Antsy? Justin Antsy, I think is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, that looks good, Antsy.
2 pounds says, how many want to see Tony Stark, not Dr. Doomlittle? Oh, Dr. Doomlittle. There you go.
That's
There's one to
great.
write down,
That's a
Scribe.
good
There you
one.
go.
Yeah, a good one.
Yeah, now you're gonna have Scribe's gonna have to make a poster of that.
I got I got some Photoshop ahead of me there. Yeah.
Wasn't there some nerd rage on Robert Downey initially getting cast as Tony Stark?
Oh yeah.
Oh sure.
I'm sure.
You know, like Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and so on. But hey,
well, not as much as I don't really recall as much then
well, it was
because
before the internet, of course. So
No.
well, no, the internet
He got a lot of
existed.
shit, Tom.
No, I think he
no.
got more shit for part 2 because of the whole Terrence Howard thing. Because when the first one came out, it was kind of under everybody's radar. And if I recall, everybody's like, oh, by the way, Robert Downey Jr. is playing Tony Stark. A lot of people are like, who? That kid from the 80s that was in all the movies. Oh, okay, yeah.
Michael Keaton.
No, I know. Well, Michael Keaton, yeah, they wrote.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about Michael Keaton when he got cast.
No. When Michael Keaton got cast, the internet didn't even exist yet, and the internet broke itself.
The Robert Downey wasn't as bad as
no, I don't. That's what I'm saying. Nobody even said shit until the second film about him. Yeah, because it was just like, oh, he's making movies again. Like,
how much was that insurance bond? Hey, lawyers.
Yeah. Has he done anything since Chaplin? No. Okay.
I mean, I think the only one that would bond him was Mel Gibson at the time. That's why
I think you're right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think the bigger story of Iron Man was Robert Downey Jr.'s working again. I think was the honest bigger
he's
thing.
alive. Right.
Yeah. Marson117B says, have you guys looked at the game Mixtape by Ellison? I heard about this. I have not seen it. I have not played it. But have you guys heard about this? Anybody else on the panel?
I've heard about it. I've seen
Okay.
some clips. I know it's as woke can be. It's not quite Dustborn. Not quite Dustborn.
No, it's not.
Well, it's even worse than the woke aspect, I guess, is it gets a bunch of shit completely wrong too.
But yeah, it's that on the one hand, it gets stuff wrong, but it also is there's no fail mode in this game. You can't lose.
I don't really have an issue with the no fail thing, but like
it's just a simulator. You're just running around listening to music that these people think should be the picks for the mixtape in the 90s. The aesthetics are all wrong, and it's somebody has pointed out the headphones you see are the first headphones that come up in a Google search when you search for 90s style headphones. So they're not 90s. I mean, they are, but they're built to look like 90s headphones, but they're not. The writing's upside down. We talked about this the other day. When you rewind a tape with a pencil, you're supposed to turn it a certain way. If you turn it the other way, the tape just comes out. Well, in the game, you're turning it the wrong way. The writing is upside down. You can't even actually see that. It's just all kinds of little theater kid mistakes. We did a story on it yesterday over at Bleeding Fool, and people are razzing them about it because what's happening is you've got websites like IGN giving it a 10. Perfect masterpiece. This game is a masterpiece, and they kind of go through some of the games that IGN is given like a 6 or a 7 or whatever.
And all the reviewers are probably 20 something, right?
It also has David Ellison's daughter, and you've got Anita Sarkeesian is also kind of orbiting.
Well, I kind of imagine this is the equivalent of what one of us had made a video game in like the 80s.
Yeah,
about what it would have been like to be a hippie in the 60s or like something like that. You know, and get it completely fucking wrong or what. And that's what it kind of feels like to me on that half of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, whatever.
All I know is when I first met Romy, I made her a badass mixtape.
Yeah.
That's the only mixtape I know.
Well, and I'm sure here's the other problem with it is a lot of movies still get this wrong. And it's like, how do you get this wrong when we have movies from those eras? But like they'll try to say, oh, it's the 80s, yet it's generally stuff from the late 80s to early 90s. And the same thing with the 90s is like, oh, it's the 90s, but yet it's stuff from the late 80s more so often than not. It's like, no, the 90s looked a lot like the aughts for the most part. Like the early aughts and the 90s were very similar-ish. The only difference was the technology got better as we went along. That was about it. The fashion didn't change all that much. The music didn't change all that much because we hit a cultural stagnation, as Andre and I have talked about many times.
Well, you have the difference between the early and the late 90s. I mean, that's
for
2
sure.
decades in one there.
Absolutely. Just watch the different seasons of the X-Files, and
pretty
you'll
much
see that in play.
Yeah.
As, you know,
but you have cell phones and computers basically were the big change.
Or even with mood lighting and fashion and
fashion especially.
Fashion. I mean, it's something to watch. And then like Tom said, it did bleed into the early odds.
Yeah. I mean, basically the early 90s were the 90s. The late 90s were the aughts.
There was an episode where where Mulder first meets the lone gunman at a Comic-Con, I believe.
Oh yeah.
And he busts out, and it's it was like episode, it was like season 3 or 4, I don't remember. But they went back in time to like when they first met at the Comic-Con, and he just pulls out the huge ass. Remember those huge ass
brick?
phones?
The brick, yeah.
Yeah.
He pulled out the brick. That was funny.
How quickly did we move from the brick to the Nokia type phone? Like, it was fast.
But
like,
speaking of moving on,
but anyway, let's move on. Yes, indeed. Yes, and we're gonna do one more super chat, maybe 2 more, and then we'll finish these up real quick, and then we got to get into Punisher. Dark King 616 says Nolan's next film, a feminist take on the poetic and prose Oedipus.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could talk.
For those that do not know, this is the repository of the tales of Norse mythology, tales of Thor, Odin, all of this. This is in the Eddas.
Okay, so with Dylan Mulvaney as Sif, Elliot Page as Thor. Well, it's Thor because she got it cut off. Oh. And Juicy Smollier as Odin.
Don't give them ideas.
Well, that's more like he's giving Scribe some ideas. All right.
Scribe is like,
his motors are just running now.
What posters may I make of this?
Yeah. Mattel shareholders push his company to explore sale. Oh, interesting.
That's
so
for the next chat that's coming up. Yeah.
Oh, so it looks like Mattel might even be up for sale, says Dark Hero fan with $2. Thank you for that. Mattel might be bought by Hasbro. Weren't they already half-assed?
So then you can get He-Man crossover with Transformers.
I was just going to say, though, weren't they already half-assed combined in some ways, too? But maybe I was thinking of something else. I could be wrong.
You're thinking of something else.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So
we'll see.
This is more conglomeration. I don't know.
They're just exploring it. There's been conversations.
Look, let's be honest. The toy business is dying. Yeah. Kids don't play with toys anymore. We buy toys. That's why Ninja Turtles, like, I could actually see where it's like Ninja Turtles is a big deal because why? Because we bought a lot of Ninja Turtle toys in the last few years. I got proof of that.
Hasbro's got all that $600 Grogu money though.
So. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. That's an interesting thing. I'm not surprised. Yeah, the toy industry is kind of coming to an end. Barry the Music Man has sent in a super sticker. Thank you for that. And let's we got one more mixtape.
That was my $1.
That was your $1.
Barry said that was for me.
So he did. Okay, well, thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
Marksman 117B says mixtape with what if Rich kid made an animated cutscene about what they think being an average 90s teen was, while it glazed by 20-year-old reviewers. There you go.
And industry plants. Yes.
No, yeah. Now, if anything, the 90s, the worst part was you either didn't have an internet computer at home, or you just couldn't afford a cell phone by the end of the era. That was like...
You got mail.
Yeah, that was the 90s and the early aughts for you. But speaking of the 90s and early aughts, throughout the 90s and aughts, we got a few movies of The Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
And
we did.
There's been good ones. There's been some bad ones. There's been some really bad ones. And there's been the Disney Plus Punisher. So the Disney Plunisher? Anyway, it's a completely different version of the Punisher.
It's a continuation of the Netflix Punisher.
It is,
Yes.
but is it?
Yeah,
That's
good.
my question for you guys coming off of the first part. I mean, how much of this does feel like a continuation and how much of it feels like it's a reboot? Cool.
Yeah. The Punisher, one last cry. I agree with that. And this, of course,
Oof.
is supposed to be the continuation of the Netflix Punisher. Now, Scribe, I want you to continue. I just want to set this up. Because for those that hadn't seen the Netflix Punisher, the summary is that he debuts in Daredevil Season 2, and I maintain that this is his best, most badass appearance yet. Because he's very much so the Punisher that we see him first. But of course, then we later learn that he's not the Punisher as in he's going after criminals. No. He's going after the very specific families that took out his own family. And that appears to be done. And then in the Punisher Season 1, we learned that, oh no, it wasn't a random thing. It was a conspiracy that took out his family. So all of Season 1 then goes not taking out random criminals, having a war on crime, but continuing to take out the people and the government conspiracy that destroyed his family, right? And then it ends with him acknowledging that he has some level of PTSD and doing better and basically quitting being the Punisher. And then in Season 2, he's basically not the Punisher anymore to begin with. He just decides to help this one girl who has some trouble with, white supremacists and right-wing extremists. But by the end of the season, this is hopeful because now finally it looks like he is ready to start his war on crime. So in the very last scene, we get to see the Punisher in action being the Punisher for the first time, just as the license was taken away. So, Scribe, where does this thing begin? Take us through it. Do we finally get the Punisher being the Punisher?
Well, we did see the Punisher again in the first season of Born Again with Daredevil, and he is still... Okay, what we see here is not the Punisher. This is not Frank Castle. I call him Fred Castle, like Jake Skywalker. This is a perpetually traumatized, emotionally incontinent individual who does not have control over his grief or his past actions or anything else. Whereas the Punisher in the comic books, he's past all that. He has a mission, he has a purpose, and he does it. So
yeah, but we were led to believe that he had found this mission at the end of Season 2. So now suddenly he has lost that again?
Yeah, exactly. We keep restarting. He keeps having to cope with his grief and his trauma to find his place and his purpose. And we did it in Season 1. We did it in Season 2. We kind of did it again in Born Again with him brooding and being like some kind of emotional counselor for Matt Murdock. Even egging on Matt Murdock to kill people, which was bizarre. And then at the end of the Born Again season, the Punisher just walks into the bad guy's headquarters without any plan, seemingly, to be captured and put into a cage. That's the last time I remember seeing him. If he showed up in Born Again Season 2, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But anyway, this episode, and I call it an episode because it's, if it were a series, but it's like a glorified pilot. It's 45 minutes long, And he's still brooding. He's still sitting in a crappy apartment, and he's crying and he's moaning and he's groaning over his past failures and his dead family. But now we have the added element of he's effectively a delusional schizophrenic, because he's seeing people and hearing things and seeing the ghosts of his family. And Karen Page shows up at one point and he's not sure if she's really there. And
I loved when he had to ask her, "Are you really there?"
Yeah, are you really with me, Karen? Are you really with me?
Because I will say that's one thing I was because when he had all these hallucinations earlier, I was like thinking, please do not ask if they're real. Do not ask them if they're real. If you're really here, don't do that. Let us believe that that these are just visualizations of your memory. Do not lose your grasp on reality, like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, who was sitting naked in the sewer talking with God and wondering why he didn't answer.
Yeah. Now, once again, we get the Punisher as we meet him in this episode. He is giving up being the Punisher again.
Well, I gotta say about the Lundgren thing. I mean, that to me is what makes him the Punisher.
What, sitting naked and talking with God?
Exactly. No, I'm just kidding. I had to disrupt. I'm sorry.
By the way, last night I did a whole stream on my channel where I went bit by bit through the whole episode. So if you're looking for finer details, take a look there. I won't try to go into all the details here. But the scenario is the Punisher is now giving up being the Punisher again. He takes all of his guns, he puts them into a locker, he takes the key, and he marches off to the graveyard to sit against his daughter's grave, put the key down in front of his wife's grave, and then get ready to delete himself from the book of life for the sake of YouTube. Mm-hmm. Now, there's something that I want to bring up that I brought up before, is the fact that ever since Daredevil Season 2, where we first see the Punisher lost a wife, a daughter, and a son. It is bizarre to me, from Season 2 of Daredevil all the way through all of the other productions, how little the shrift the son is given. It's always about the daughter. It's always about Lisa. Frank Jr. is an afterthought if he's ever brought up at all, and it continues in this. And I'm not going to perpetuate or put up some kind of conspiracy theory about it, but it's always struck me as so bizarre that they always ignore the son, and the daughter is the center of his grief. But the funniest thing, if you can call it that, in this little episode was he's sitting there, he's getting ready to take his own life, and the image of his daughter appears to halt him. And as I'm watching, and this is why you don't have the Punisher's family show up as ghosts or something, because it really conjures some interesting questions about his motivations. And I'm thinking to myself, don't, Daddy, you have so much more killing to do. It's like, what is the purpose of having his daughter stop him from doing this and continuing his war on crime? Daddy, keep killing for me, Daddy. It's just so... She doesn't say that. I'm not saying she says that, but that is the message that's coming across.
It's a reversal of what Jason Voorhees' mother did.
Yes.
You stole my joke, damn it!
Oh, sorry about that. That was the first thing that came
great
to
minds
mind.
Think alike.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this Punisher is he's still dealing with his trauma. We find out, and this is the most frustrating thing about watching this, I think, is that all the stuff I wanted to see from this happened off screen. We're seeing, so what we see is, as the story basically is, this part of New York that the Punisher is living in right now, Little Italy, I think they called it, is in absolute bedlam. It is anarchy. It is perpetual BLM protest 24/7. And all of this came about because there's a power vacuum in the underworld in this one part of New York. And why is there a
by
power
implication, it's a Democrat-run city.
Well, there's that too. Yeah. But there's a power vacuum. Why? Because the Punisher just recently, within recent memory, destroyed the Nucci family. Now, for Punisher comic book fans, the Nucci family is a significant element in relatively modern Punisher lore. It's a crime family, think of the Gambinos, that kind of thing. But the Punisher eliminated all the major members of this family, save one for some reason. We'll get to that in a minute. And because of this power vacuum now, the entire city's falling apart. And so I'm thinking to myself as I hear that, gosh, the Nucci family were the best civil servants you could ask for. They were keeping a lid on all of this. Everything was a paradise when they were around. But now the Punisher has taken away those guys, and now there's a power vacuum, and now the whole city is just going up in flames, and the Punisher doesn't do anything about it. He apparently didn't realize that that's what was going to happen. He had no idea about the dominoes that were going to fall.
Well, he didn't care because he was just taking revenge. He was taking doing punishment. Yeah. He was taking revenge on those that killed his family.
But they didn't kill his family. The Nucci's had nothing to do with the murder of his family. We established that in the Netflix series. It was all the military conspiracy, like you said. He killed everybody involved, and then eventually killed Jigsaw, who was directly involved in the murder of his family. So how they retconned the Nucci's having anything to do with it, if the Nucci's had a direct hand in his family's deaths, then why did he stop at that card game in season 1 of The Punisher where he killed the Nucci's at the card game? He ignored them for the rest of the season. And anyway, I could go on. But anyway, so the Punisher doesn't care about all the chaos going on around him. People are being accosted and hurt and assaulted and murdered and shot at in the city. And he's just walking on by to the gravesite, not caring at all.
Walking by Joan, walking by Spacker Dave.
Yeah, walking by all the innocent people that he should be defending or trying to do something about. And then, in a surprise cameo, I didn't know the casting of this until it happened. He walks back to his apartment, and he is met with a woman in a wheelchair who is spouting at him about the loss of family. You think you lost your family, Frank? I lost my family. And it took me a second, because I was like, is that who I think it is? And so first off, the character is Ma Nucci, the head of the Nucci crime family, who is still alive for some reason. But she's played by Judith Light.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, Angela? Angela is a crime boss? I thought, well, that's an interesting turn. But then we spend like 5 or 7 minutes with her whinging at him about losing her family, and he's just standing there dumbstruck. And I'm like, the Punisher would pick her up out of her wheelchair, break her back over his knee, and throw her in a gutter. What are we doing here? And she's like, well, I've put a bounty out on you. Every scumbag in this town is going to come after you at a specific time tonight to coincide with the time you killed my best son. And that's what's going to happen. And then what happens? Well, people get assaulted in the apartment building that aren't the Punisher. Everybody and their brother gets attacked that isn't the Punisher. And,
because they were busy doing the purge right there. I mean, the entire Democrat city is in total bedlam, but there, the foot soldiers, they all decided, hey, it's purging day.
Yeah, and then the Punisher, eventually we get to okay, here's the thing, and this is what always ticks me off too. The action scenes in the Punisher productions are good. I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're great. Like, I mean, the action's great. In season 1, you had when the military guys attacked his headquarters. That was a great scene. You had the bar scene in the beginning of season 2 in the bar bathroom. That was a great scene. The action's great, but it is surrounded by this nonsense. And so, but here's the other thing. The action scenes in this piece are very weightless because all of the enemies are nameless, unattached, just fodder. And it's just him mowing through people in great action scenes, but there's no sense of weight to it all. We don't know who these guys are. They're just random
he's just
scumbags.
mowing down randos, but Mama Leone, he let live, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the more interesting story here. You guys bypass that super quick, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the plot of the show?
No.
The plot of the show should be if the Punisher was doing such a good job that he took out so many mobsters that everything starts to not work, because that's what I'm saying. Like, there's an interesting point that's true, and this is kind of why the cops have put up with Teamsters and the mobsters for years, because guess what? If you shut them down, all hell's going to break loose, because a bunch of people are going to lose their jobs, a bunch of shit's going to stop production, a bunch of shit's going to stop moving. Let's not even get started on fucking government, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's a more interesting story for Frank to have to face the fact of you're doing such a good job that you've completely disrupted the system so much that now we have to rebuild everything again. That is a different kind of story to where the Punisher has to go, well, have I done my job now, or should I continue to go on to this mission? Because to me, it's like, you guys are sitting here, him even questioning his mission is stupid, because his kids are dead, his kid's dead, kid, depending on which version you're going by. In this case, it sounds like he's got kids, okay? Mm-hmm. And his family's gone, whatever. Like, what do you mean, do you continue or not? right? Like there's no reason to even question that because it's not about that anymore. It's like you guys just said, the Punisher is about making sure nothing bad ever happens to anybody ever again like that.
Well,
so that quest is never ending, basically.
Well, this is the problem with the way that they originated this version of the character. I've talked about this before. In the comic books, Frank Castle and his family were just random victims of crime. It was not targeted. They just happened to be in the wrong place in the wrong time. And that is the impetus for the character to see himself in other people who are victims of the wrong place in the wrong time, and to see crime itself as the enemy. In the Netflix version of The Punisher, the source of Frank Castle's misery is not justifiably, but it is from a result of his own actions. The people he was involved with in the military, in Afghanistan. It's all this sort of chain. Yeah, so there is a conceivable end to Frank Castle's revenge in this version of the Punisher because the enemy is identifiable and the source of the tragedy is identifiable.
Which again, I agree with you guys. I think you guys pointed out that is going against what the Punisher's all about to begin with.
Well, it ruins the character. It ruins the character, and we keep having to restart him being motivated to do his thing because it always stops again and he comes to a conclusion, and then it's like, well, my work here is done. Like, no, that's not how it works.
That was kind of my point. His work is never done. That's the whole point. Yeah.
That's what it should be. But anyway, so without going too much into everything, it is once again not a good reflection of the character as... I mean, here's the thing. If you liked The Punisher from the Netflix series, you'll like this. Because if you appreciated that character and that rendition, you get everything, you get more and on top of that. That's all I can say.
They're just redoing the same thing they've done. We keep talking about his mental illness.
Yeah.
And he's still struggling with the exact same thing over and over. And the whole thing just feels more like a proof of concept than a movie. You know, is this made for people who don't know who the Punisher is? Or is this all leading to whatever the Punisher's supposed to be, living in the shadow of Spider-Man when that movie comes out? I mean, where are we going?
This is the same hope that I had at the end of Punisher season 2 when we finally see him bust out. Yeah. I can't help but have a little bit of hope at the end of this that maybe this is supposed to be the capstone to the emotionally destroyed and grieving Punisher, and from here on out, we're not going to have to deal with that anymore. Maybe this was the swan song. That is the
one non-killing.
But here's the problem:
one that can team up with the Avengers version.
Yeah, but here's the problem, and this is the drop of poison in the soup. Okay, Andre, I'm going to start talking about something, and you tell me if we're on the same page here.
Well, how about I just begin with saying this is the big freaking problem with Dirty Laundry, which is Tom Jane's version of the Punisher when he did his own fan film, the compatible version to One Last Cry, which were basically there's a prostitute who is beaten. And she is really terrorized by her pimp. And then the Punisher leaves her in a position to decide if the pimp lives or dies, which is the greatest crime against the integrity of the character ever put on film by anyone ever, because the Punisher does not let other people decide who gets to live or who dies. He does that alone, so no one else has to. And if they do, if they decide, then they have suddenly made themselves judge, jury, and executioner. Doesn't matter if he does it, they have then placed themselves on the wrong side of the line that he has drawn, and they are targeted for execution. So he doesn't ask permission.
Right. But here's the other point I want to make. Real quick, point I want to make about that is that the Punisher is there to protect innocence, as in innocent people, and innocence, the innocence of others, to make the decisions that he alone should make to carry that burden. So in Dirty Laundry, for him to leave the ultimate fate of the pimp to this victim prostitute lady, he is bringing that lady across the line of his own volition into becoming less innocent than she was before. And that goes against the Punisher's overall purpose and mission. And so that's the thing you have to keep in mind. So Andre, if we are thinking about the exact same thing, proceed.
Of course we are. The Punisher does not look at another person and ask him with his eyes, do I kill this guy or don't I? You tell me. Does he live or does he die? It's up to you. It's all up to you, man. I'll pull the trigger, but you be the judge and you decide. I'm just the executioner.
Yeah, and that was how this show exited after the Punisher settles his emotions or whatever, or comes to terms with who he is or whatever. So just for context, and again, spoilers, etc. are rife. Right. This episode is bookended by a vignette or continuing vignette. It starts off with a homeless man who is very hit over the head the fact that he's a former U.S. Marine, because he's got a USMC cap and he's got the Marine pin on his jacket. And he's also carrying a little dog. And he's just minding his own business in this riot-ridden section of New York. And then this group of thugs come along, led by a overly tattooed skinhead type. And the skinhead guy takes his cap from him, and the guys are beating on him, and he steals his dog. He steals his dog, and he's petting his, oh, little puppy. And then he throws the dog in front of a moving dump truck. He kills the dog. You'd never kill the dog. And so from the jump, it's like, oh my God, this guy's going to get something happen to him, right? And so we have that little vignette at the beginning. And then we never see these guys again until the very end. The last scene of the show, you have a couple, again, in this completely riot-ridden, torn-down war zone of a city. This couple's walking along the sidewalk going like, gosh, are we going to go to the show tomorrow? Yeah, it'll be great. And then all of a sudden you see a baseball bat come up from behind him about to hit him. And then the Punisher kicks that guy into a light post. He braces the guy up against the light post. And it's the skinhead from the beginning, still got the hat on. And the homeless guy suddenly appears. He's like, give me back my hat. And so he gives back the guy's hat. And the Punisher turns his back on the skinhead. And does the skinhead run away? No, he waits a few beats. And then he starts running away. And then the homeless guy says, he took more from me than just my hat. And the Punisher takes out a throwing knife and throws it at the guy's leg. And it hits him in the leg, and the guy falls to the ground. He's like, ah. And the Punisher walks over with his gun. And he points it at the skinhead's head. And then he turns and looks back at the homeless guy. He looks for affirmation. He looks for permission before shooting this guy. And I look back at the scene again. You might be able to say it's ambiguous, but he was looking for assent from the victim before doing it.
He was looking for approval. As it said, this is like,
he was looking for approval.
I'm leaving it to you. You decide if this guy lives or dies.
And you cannot.
Pull the trigger, you decide.
There's one thing you cannot do, and this is why I had a problem with the bullet in the head theory of things that happened in Daredevil Season 2. You cannot give the Punisher a moral escape. The Punisher is a murderer. He makes his own decisions. He takes his own actions. As soon as you start abrogating his responsibility for his actions to someone else or to some higher power or something, that's no longer the character. And again, he has, by proxy, dragged the innocent victim into taking a life. Even with the distance between him pulling the trigger versus, letting the guy do it himself. That is what the Punisher cannot do. He cannot do that. He has to be the line between civilization and natural law. That's where he has to be. And by doing that, and especially in the last scene, that is supposed to be the entree to whatever we see next, it really gives me doubts that they have any idea how the character is supposed to work.
On the bright side, though, he did look fantastic in the outfit.
When they finally let him wear it, I'm still not a jazz with the beard, but at least they let him cut his hair and he looked.
He has that cut for Spider-Man. So anyway, here's the hope then. Now we are done with that. This was John Bernthal's Punisher. This was John Bernthal getting to do what he wanted, and it was in a way an amalgamation of every previous Punisher iteration. Because he was a little bit mentally unstable, just like Dolph Lundgren. It was all about revenge and not punishment, just like Tom Jane. Like the Ray Stevenson, there is a raid inside of a building, which is a great sequence. So massive kudos for the action. The action is fantastic. Some of the best Punisher action there ever has been. That
Yes.
was brilliant. That was Dread. It was the Raid, and it was also very much similar, like the Ray Stevenson Punisher. And then, like Dirty Laundry, it was him basically soiling the innocence of others. There were some nods from the comics. He's like, okay, you have Nucci. There's a tribute to Spacko Dave. There's Joan and the neighbors. So that's all the inspiration that was from Welcome Back, Frank. And finally, of course, there was loads and loads of Netflix Punisher. So the hope now, for me at least, is that now we're done with all the emotional stuff. Now he's the Punisher, and now we can move on. Oh, and he really has it in for white people who look right-wing. I mean, he took his time with that one guy, although he hadn't really done anything in particular, but he took his time.
Oh, you're talking about like the mini boss Bonobo guy that shows up with the chain around his neck at the very...
Yes, that guy, the mini boss.
He came out of nowhere. I wish we'd seen that guy earlier.
But he looks like Aryan Nation kind of guy, kind of like similar to what he fought in Punisher season 2.
Yeah.
He took his sweet time in dispatching that one.
Oh yeah, in front of the little girl, by the way. I always love the fact how throughout that entire sequence where he's saving the little girl, he's like slaughtering guys right in front of her eyes, and I'm just like, and she's the most emotionally solid individual in the entire situation. Oh boy.
That reminds me, there is a theme here, and we're almost done here now, but there is one theme here. And parents, they rarely say this when you talk about like your favorite kids. Like parents are supposed to love all their kids equally, and that's all any parent will ever say. But between closed doors, look, we still have our favorites. I mean, that absolutely is the theme right here.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
For Frank Castle, the daughter is his favorite by far. That's the one that he could relate to, and of course there's a special bond with between a father and a daughter. A daughter needs a father, very, very much so. Of course, a son does as well, but it's kind of like different. Like a girl with daddy issues is something that you can recognize from a mile away as they grow up. So it's best to have a proper relationship with her father, and this obviously was the case here. It was very close with her, and the son, he's an after. He was there too, but not that important.
Yeah.
Same thing with Magnucci, right? Oh, he killed all of her sons, but the one that really hurt was her favorite son.
Yeah, the PDF file.
The PDF file son. He was the special one.
He was the smartest one. His mind was his weapon. Like
she could take or leave the other ones, but when he killed that one, that made it personal.
Don't you wish the episode had been him stalking the Nucci? Shouldn't that have been the show? Him stalking and taking down the Nucci members. That would have been the show I wanted to watch. That all happens off screen.
Oh, totally. But that would have been an alternate title here as well. The Punisher. Favorite children.
Oh, yeah. Favorite son.
Yeah.
Favorite son. There you go.
Yeah. Favorite child, because... but again, you have you have the same thing there. That the mother was unhealthily attached to her son.
Oh, yeah.
In a way. Yeah.
Yeah. Unhealthily,
because that was weird. There was some Electra complex going on there.
Yeah.
So no, Oedipus. Maybe that's how he dealt with it with the PDF file thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I went into far more detail on things on my stream on my channel. Hope springs eternal. I hope that this, like I say, this capstone's the worst version of the Punisher, and that whatever we see in Brand New Day is probably going to have to be toned down because Spider-Man isn't going to allow the Punisher to go hog wild on everybody, as we already saw in one of the trailers.
Yeah.
But if there are any other further Punisher things, I hope, but
hope springs eternal. Again,
yep.
I'll forgive them if we now can just move on, do it really cool from here. Same thing as with the problems with Mortal Kombat 1. This kind of like capstones. Now you don't need to see any of the previous stuff ever again. So now we can move forward. I was afraid that this was going to be the character retiring or him swearing off killing just in time for the PG-13 rated Spider-Man. Nope. He is now, for the second time, the real Punisher in this continuity. Maybe it'll stick this time.
Well,
I'll believe it. I'll believe it when
when
Chuck Dixon is hired to write.
Yeah,
then I will have faith.
Or Mike Barron.
Or Mike Barron.
Mama will do the punishing now. Remember, I think this is the same Punisher they had 10 years ago or 2017 Netflix, right? I mean, there's really nothing new. And I guess.
Well, there's one new thing, though, because now his daughter is telling him, kill them,
yeah,
Daddy.
Well,
kill them, Daddy.
So
kill them all.
So we're really going to lean into the mental illness aspect of it. I feel like Disney and Marvel have had a really touch and go relationship with the Punisher. It was 2022 when they changed his uniform, put some weird alien logo on his. He joined the hand.
Yeah, it became a basically ninja Punisher.
Brought his wife back from the dead, and then she rejects him and calls him a genocidal maniac. I mean, because Jerry Conway, rest in peace, always loathed how the Punisher that he created, I guess, or ripped off from the Destroyer, if you really want the truth. How the Punisher turned into a hero, and Marvel proper in the C-suite all the way down to the creators and the nobodies kind of hated how police and military had kind of embraced the Punisher symbol. So Disney was trying to wipe that away with that series back in 2022 that Jason Aaron did. Jason Aaron's the one who brought us Lady Thor, by the way, if you need to know what his bona fides are. He also brought us Southern Bastards, which I think is a good series, but that's not a Marvel series. I just feel like let's move on. Let's get past his wife and child getting killed. We've explored it. We've done it. We got it. What's Frank doing now? Where is Microchip? Where is the aspects of him fighting crime, for crying out loud, not fighting his inner demons? We're over it. So I don't know. I feel like this was made for people who just didn't understand the Punisher. When I understand or knew him or weren't familiar with him, but this actually was happening concurrently with Daredevil season 2. Is that right? This isn't okay.
Well, I honestly don't know this exists outside of time unless there's been some clarification otherwise.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. We were told that it takes place in the aftermath of Daredevil season 2 and in the aftermath of the Netflix series and concurrently with Daredevil season 2. I saw no signs of that whatsoever.
Well, when did Karen Page die? What was that?
Oh, well, Karen Page, they didn't kill her off, did they?
No.
Born Again? No, he was just seeing an image of her.
Doesn't matter because it wasn't her. It was
he was just imagining.
I thought they did kill her though, or was it? No, they killed Foggy. I thought that was.
They killed Foggy. Oh yeah, they killed off Foggy.
They killed Karen Girl Page. Boss. She's not dead.
No, they're gonna kill Karen Page.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter because again, she's a figment of his imagination.
Okay.
So I would say that this has to take place before season 1 of the Daredevil Born Again, because in Daredevil Born Again, he is the Punisher again, and he looks kind of similar to what he did here. Did he not? Or
that would make the most sense because otherwise, how did he escape from the Kingpin mob and the cage and all that? So,
exactly.
Yeah, this must be a Born Again prequel then. Yeah, that would make sense. If that's not it, then I'm not sure how it fits. But.
I mean, there's no way that it takes place because there was no reference whatsoever to him escaping captivity. So logically, it has to be before, unless they do like what they did in the comics that one time at the end of I think it was Punisher War Journal or War Zone version 2 or something, which ended with him being capped in shield captivity, and he was in an underwater cell from which there was absolutely no human way to escape, and it was never ever addressed. They just ended the series there. And soon they do more Punisher miniseries and stuff like that with him on the loose, with no reference to how he ever got out of that pickle.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I always like seeing the Punisher represented, even if it's bad, because at least somebody's keeping the lights on after a fashion.
Oh, there's
And
that.
I can only hope that because the thought always was John Bernthal's a great actor, and everything that I saw in the Netflix series, I always made sure when I did my reviews to say, John Bernthal's doing the best with what he's handed to do. He's handed this character, he's given this direction. I can't hold Bernthal responsible for how this iteration
Well, I
came
can.
out.
He's part of the problem.
Well, I know, but this is the thing. Now there is no excuse because he was co-writing this thing. So unless he was trying to wrap up something that he wasn't comfortable with as a proclaimed fan of the comic book character, and now we're going to move on into something better. Like I say, I hope so, but that last scene just gives me all sorts of willies.
Yeah. Well, I hope for the best, and I hope that we will get more stuff like this, because Manucci is still alive, and she shouldn't be.
Judith Light needs some more screen time as Manucci. I'll tell you what, of everything else in that, just seeing Angela is like the vindictive mob boss lady who wants to kill everybody. It's like, man, that's like Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo. I love the contrast. Keep doing that. Yeah, bring her back.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
But I have to go, unfortunately. I'm over time, actually.
We got one
thanks
super
for-
chat, though, that you might want to respond to. I think.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How do we pull
do
that
it.
up? Let's see.
Let's see here.
I love
It's,
Super Chats,
this
by the
one
way.
here. Yeah,
Especially
it's
for Midnight
this
Edge.
one here. Mo Sislak says for $19.99, and we thank you
Wow.
for that. Is it safe to say Disney allowed Bernthal to write this Schizo Army Man one-off in exchange for reprising the role? He has one other writing cred, also 2026, and one-off episode where he is of himself idol. Very original. So, yeah, what say you about that, Scribe?
Well, I mean, it's between this and him appearing in Brand New Day. If people respond to him, then there will be more Punisher. There's just no doubt about
Maybe
it.
a
Now, whether or not
movie?
he gets maybe a movie, maybe he gets a series, or maybe another one shot or something. Yeah, no, I mean, like I say, this gives me hope that there's still ground for the character to be carried forward. As far as like Bernthal's motivation, I don't know what his contract situation was. I assume that once Netflix ended, he signed up for whatever they were going to do with him.
What
in
what
Daredevil
we
and
have
this.
heard is that it was an absolute requirement for him that this has to appeal and respect law enforcement and military. I mean, that is what he is all about first and foremost. So
Yeah.
we always heard, this is something we even heard from Mikey Sutton, that he didn't need to reprise this. He was only going to do it if he felt it was done right. But of course, what he feels is done right and what we as fans of the character feel is done right are two different things. But still, hopefully, this does get the response that now we can move on in a slightly different direction, and I'd be all for that.
Yes.
So
I would
hope
too.
springs eternal. And I just hope that I still stand by. Do a Punisher movie. Do it based on The Slavers by Garth Ennis. Just have John Bernthal read that. Dude, this Punisher can go and do The Slavers right away.
Yeah.
It's in my personal opinion, the best Punisher story ever written. And this Punisher, as he is right now, with the relationship with his daughter and everything like that, he's plenty qualified to go straight into the slaver storyline. Hell, the villains are even white Eastern European criminals. So,
My only saying otherwise would be that if you're going to do a Punisher series, make it episodic. Don't make it one giant story arc, and you have to make one episode. One Way Fair by Chuck Dixon. That story is the epitome of a perfect Punisher one-off story. Yeah, you read One Way Fair, it's got a twist at the end that even today when I think about reading it the first time when I was a kid, I couldn't believe I was reading this in a comic book I just pulled off the rack. It's the kind of material that really belonged in the back, but they got away with it in those early Punisher issues because there wasn't as much of an oversight, I guess. But One Way Fair, Chuck Dixon's first Punisher story, he knocked it out of the park. I would love to see that brought to life just verbatim if you can do it. But anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks for having me on. Andre, love talking with you about this stuff. I guess we'll be doing something tomorrow.
Oh, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Yeah. And Chris, nice to see you. Polly, Tom, nice to see you guys again. I'll try to make it onto the show when I can, but things of life is life as it was. And everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming out and talking and listening to everybody and all your super chats and everything. And be sure, if you're not already subscribed to Bleeding Fool and Latino Slant, go subscribe to those guys right now. And otherwise, I will see you guys later.
See you, Scribe.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Right. So you guys, having just listened to the discussion, excited for Punisher.
That was punishment.
Now?
It really was.
No, I heard that earlier part of the conversation. I'm like, there's your fucking story. Why are you doing all this other bullshit? It's just like, whatever. And as you said, like, this is obviously an earlier time frame, so it doesn't connect to Spider-Man at all. So I'm like, that's a mistake. Even a post-credit scene, nothing.
Nope,
right.
nothing.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, no, it doesn't sound intriguing to me at all. I didn't get into the Netflix show, and I don't really have any interest in getting into this either. So, and I don't feel like I have to have seen it to probably see him in Spider-Man, because I'm sure his performance there, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be
probably there. He's going to be the real Punisher.
There, he'll be completely different either way. Was my point, but yeah.
There may be, like, unbeknownst to the audience, or at least for those that haven't seen the movie, he has his daughter whispering in his ear, "Kill them for me, Daddy, kill them." And then he's a real Punisher.
Yeah. And then it turned out to be Mephisto from Ironheart, maybe.
God, I hope not. I mean, they really messed up the comics there at one point, trying to bring in demons and bullshit like that, which was that Garth Ennis had to retcon away. So, please, let's not go there.
Yeah. Or Angel. Remember.
I was going to say, the other issue here you have is that when people see him in Spider-Man, it will be the first time most people have seen John Bernthal as the Punisher.
Yeah.
They need to understand that, and I'm sure that they'll treat him that way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
trying not to kill people in Spider-Man, But
this is also part of the
gun. Yeah.
Part of the problem with connecting these shows to these movies and stuff, because, again, how many people actually watched the Punisher show? 2 million? 3? Maybe a few more. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Culture usually has that kind of stuff, but honestly, I can't bet I bet it's not that big. He's not. Yes, he's popular, but he's more of a cult hero of a sorts.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Andre, he told us
he
exactly
was never a top 10 character.
Exactly. He knows exactly where I'm coming with this. He's that kind of guy where it's like, he's basically the Iron Maiden of fucking comic book. Like, you get talking to, your music friends and stuff like that. Everybody's talking about Led Zeppelin, this, Pink Floyd, that, Michael Jackson, whatever. He's the guy that pulls out an Iron Maiden. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's something just oddball. You're like, okay, now we're going that direction. Because he's kind of this off center character in the Marvel universe. And I like that aspect of him, but he's also a character I've never had a problem with them keeping separate from the rest of the Marvel universe, because he doesn't really jive with the rest of that.
No.
Because as I've pointed out many times before, he basically is Charles Bronson in Death Wish. It's literally just the comic book version of Death Wish, right? Like, because people, we talked about this before, but we're basically, a lot of these comic books come from an idea of what's popular right now. Oh, this is popular, so let's do something like that. That's where a lot of these comic book characters start from, which is funny because they actually live on longer than half the time the things that they're based on, right? Iron Fist is loosely based on like stuff with the Bruce Lee movies and stuff back in the day, and all that kind of business. They used to do cowboy comics because Westerns were big for a while, but it's the same kind of thing here. He fits in that kind of region of, he's his own little dark character, kind of like Spawn and other ones that kind of have their own cult following.
The Mike Barron, a friend of mine who also wrote Punisher for 5 or 6 years, has said that when he started writing it, he purposely kept aliens and superheroes and all that stuff out of it, so it would be more of a street level, just as you say, a vigilante. Now Disney is saying that this one shot got 25 million views, so that's pretty hefty.
They're saying it.
Did it really?
They're lying their asses off.
I was gonna say, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Not enough people.
No
like,
way
if this was a Spider-Man show, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
how the hell does Daredevil not trend anywhere, and this gets 25 million views, and
I don't see it trending.
And it hasn't even been 24 hours since it was released.
I'm
Ain't
just
no
telling
way
you
in
what
hell.
I'm just telling you what Variety. I've got it right here. Let's see.
Yeah, I
Variety,
believe
Wow.
you. I'm not talking like you. Like, I just like, dude, this guy's lying
25.6
through
million.
their-
Well, I think. Listen, I think we might be underestimating the popularity of Punisher over Daredevil. Even in the comics, I mean,
That may
Punisher has a much bigger,
But that's a lot.
a normie audience. Think about it, right? You've got
Really?
even the skull is ubiquitous. You see it everywhere. And maybe there's just some people going, hey, let's watch that Punisher. I like that Terminal
Maybe.
List movie with Chris Pratt. Let's check out Punisher. Let's check out this Punisher one shot or One Last Kill. It wouldn't surprise me.
I would agree
I-
on that normie tip.
Yeah.
Definitely. Just on what you said, Chris.
You got
Yeah.
that story? I want to read that quick.
Just as far
And,
as
anyway, here's something to keep in mind as well. This thing right here, if you haven't seen the Punisher season 1, if you haven't seen the Punisher season 2, this is going to catch you right up.
That's right. Yeah. You don't need to have seen the Netflix show.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
there's no need. Now you know everything you need to know. Now you're ready. Like, for instance, if you just want an origin before Spider-Man, that's
Mhm.
probably the reason why they did this. You don't have to watch the homework. You just have to watch this one thing. Now you're good to go. Now he's addressed his respect for servicemen. He's addressed the PTSD. Now he's the Punisher.
I'm not seeing the Punisher on here, but because this came out yesterday too. Like, how did they know how many people watched it before it was even on?
You're right. That's not on that Variety. That's just the number I'm seeing get thrown around. I need to do a little more.
Yeah, I was
research.
going to say plus it's a little early for us to be getting those kind of numbers.
Yeah,
yet.
again, it hasn't been 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you, for instance, look at here, because here the article you put behind the scenes here, there's like linear and streaming total viewers year to date. Number one, his and hers, 25 million across 35 days.
I got you.
Yeah, ain't no
See,
way.
and that's another thing is
hell.
they've had to compromise television because of how we watch it now, to where, you know, it doesn't count on the day that it usually comes out or the first couple hours. It's all, you know, over a certain span of days now because it doesn't broadcast like it used to. It's just it drops.
They do minutes. They measure minutes, right?
And they measure minutes, exactly, yeah. Not that the Nielsen ratings were ever that accurate probably to begin with, but it was at least an idea.
Well,
right?
the trailer, I remember when that trailer came out, it did like 5.5 million views.
That just seems very loaded to me.
which one?
The trailer for it.
For what?
Because look, for
One Last
Punisher.
Kill.
For the Punisher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me see if I've got that pulled up. Yeah, here we go.
Because even the average viewership for like Mando and Grogu, which was supposed to be their biggest hit, was only like 25 million in the first 2 seasons, and then it tapered down to like 7 million by the end of it, I think it was.
Yeah, I don't know how many views it's got now, but that article's from April 18th, and it says in the first week it got over 5 million views.
I just wanted to add because I wasn't able to get that thought out earlier, was that on a pure normie level, people love Bernthal, and then and a lot of
That's
people,
true, but
no, there's no but. People love John, but compared to Charlie Cox, who the fuck knows him?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're comparing, right?
Yeah.
And one more point is that I don't see anyone wearing Daredevil t-shirts. I see people wearing Punisher t-shirts.
Very true. Yeah.
Period. I don't go and ask them, hey, do you
I'm not arguing that the Punisher is not more popular. My point is, though, is just I don't buy this 25 million viewers thing.
Well, no. It may not be 25.
Sure,
but
I agree with you.
I think it probably did better than Daredevil numbers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll buy that.
That's what I'm saying. That's
and I agree with you there. Everything you just said, I totally agree with you, Paulie. Like, that's not a an argument or disagreement. I'm just like,
Did I say that
just,
guy's name wrong?
I don't know, but I'm just Charlie Cox. Not that I know of. I think you said it right.
I said it right.
But I just don't see that many people watching what is ostensibly an R-rated Marvel special.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, the promos for it and the trailer looked hot. I just feel like this is one of the, you know how Amazon Prime, that like the Terminal List or the Reacher show. I think sometimes couples are easily going to sit down and watch something that just looks like a street level, gritty action thriller.
Yeah.
I don't see superheroes here. I don't see magic. I don't see yeah. And it's an actor they like. I mean, this guy's wasn't he in like The Accountant? He's been in The Wolf of Wall Street, Fury,
and everything.
I mean,
totally.
Yeah,
he works a lot.
He's got face recognition, and the scenes looked good. And you guys didn't really talk about it much, but man, that was some ultra violence on that show and good trailers. That's just going to draw people in. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's the #1 show on Disney Plus this week.
I hope so.
One more. Someone's saying people aren't wearing those shirts because of John. I didn't say that. I said
no. It's just a popular character.
No. I'm talking to someone in the chat.
Oh.
I think it's important. 2 points I made, right? That there's John Bernthal fans and there's people that wear Punisher t-shirts that are probably checking out the trailer. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
And I'm purely observing this as super normie, just observation.
People have been wearing Punisher shirts for 20 years.
20 years. Thank you.
Huge. Yeah. They don't wear Thor shirts. They don't wear Daredevil shirts. They don't wear. I've got a fantastic shirt.
Deadpool, Spidey, and Punisher.
Batman. Oh yeah, on the Marvel side, you're right.
But
I'll be honest.
Captain America too gets a lot of play.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
No, all I was going to say is I'll be honest with y'all. I'm not surprised if it did do better because my first thing was why is Punisher being a TV series and not a movie when they did the Punisher TV series initially? But like that was all I was going to say is like at this point it just feels like, you know, what are you doing to this character? Because I agree with you on one side of it. It is probably too popular for television, and if that may be where there is the numbers are real, but I just didn't feel or see the. I had to I was like reminded that the goddamn thing dropped last night. I'm like, well, I can't watch it anyway, but unless I, go about it the pirate way, but I don't have a frame of reference for it, so I wouldn't be able to really review it properly because I haven't seen the first season of the show or whatever it was that was on Netflix, or first 2 seasons or whatever it was.
If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't know about this movie or whatever. It's a movie or it's a TV show? New series?
It's a special, basically.
It's a one-off. It's a one-off special presentation, as they call it.
45-minute show, basically.
Andre, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it as someone who hasn't watched anything. I want to see if I can enjoy it as
it would be a very interesting experiment to check it out and see what you think about it.
But boy, have we come this far now where we've gone from actual movies and theaters to TV shows to one show. One lousy episode. It used to bitch about 22, not getting 22 episodes and only getting half that, right? Now we're only getting one episode of a show.
40 minutes.
Yeah, basically. And is it because Bernthal's that busy, or is it they're setting something else up? Like, I don't understand this. The point of this, I guess, is my question here. I'm trying to sort out in my head.
I think this is just my speculation after seeing it. I didn't have this thought before, but I think now this is just to get everyone caught up with the Punisher in time for Spider-Man No Way Home. And it also may have been something that they had to do just to get Bernthal on board. Come in for Spider-Man. Sorry, Brand New Day. Yeah. Because he's not going to be able to do all of the things that he wants to do with the character in Brand New Day. No. But maybe he would be willing to come back if he can do it somewhere else. I think that's my best guess of what's going on here. This is.
I'm with you, Tom. I think it's a combination of things. I mean, Bernthal is such a in-demand working class actor, and that could be his schedule. Also, too, the what's asked of the production. This is not just like, hey, let's we're gonna do a season, and most of the action is just talking. This is high level, like you said, fight choreography, action. That takes a long time to produce and to produce it right. And you're saying that the action is good in this one, Andre?
Very,
Yep.
Yeah,
very good.
that takes months just
Yeah.
to have, and that's before you bring in your actors. That takes months to choreograph, film, prep, all that stuff. So it should have been a movie, Tom.
Well, he was also doing the Odyssey at the same time. I mean, I don't know what his
Yeah.
schedule's like, right?
Yeah.
So it should have been a movie. I agree, though. This feels like I said it earlier. Feels like a proof of concept. You
Well, if
know?
anything, it's contractually that they're doing it as a show, so they don't have to pay so much for Bernthal. Because I agree with you guys. If you're going to do just a one-off, why don't you do a 90-minute movie or something like that? That makes more sense.
Maybe the smart play is to see how he comes over in Spider-Man. You know,
And,
before they do a full movie, right? I don't know.
I think so. I'm looking forward to seeing him in Spider-Man. But I think he was Agamemnon in Odyssey.
Yes.
It's not a small
I
role.
thought it was
Like,
Menelaus. Is it Agamemnon?
no,
Okay.
it's Agamemnon. He's married to to Helen.
Okay.
So that's not a small role. That's what I'm saying. So you know there is time. I mean, and again, the Odyssey was filmed on location, so people are gone for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. It just seems odd how they did this, but it doesn't seem to. The time frame that it takes place in doesn't seem like it's fitting in with anything else really necessarily either. But I don't know. We'll have to find out. Pack and Proton says at the start, forgotten Keaton films. Gung Ho rather like that one. Oh yeah, and that's not forgotten. Kino Lorber just released that like last year.
That's a good little movie. I saw that in the theater when I was a kid.
Yeah, I say that was one of the movies that put him on the map. Actually,
It is a great movie.
Gung Ho.
I thought it was
yeah.
Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom put him on the map.
That was one of his big ones too. Yeah, but I mean,
Although Johnny
did
Dangerously is one of my favorites.
Well, Johnny Dangerously was a flop.
I love that movie though. Golly,
I was gonna say he had like that string of little hits there between Gung Ho or Mr. Mom, Gung Ho, and Beetlejuice, which is kind of like boom, 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 and that's kind of where he became
What
Michael
was his
Keaton.
TV show that he was on?
I'm trying to remember now. I don't
Getting
think it
him
was
confused
on.
with Bosom Buddies, and
No, I'm trying to remember too, but no, it wasn't that.
He was on. He made an appearance, I think, on Frasier. I don't think he had his own show though.
Wasn't he? No, I think Paulie's right. I think he was once in a while on a
Night Shift.
sitcom. Was it? Well, The Night Shift was a movie, but he was like, I thought he was.
That's a great film.
That is, but that was his earlier stuff.
You know what
But
you're thinking about is that what was that movie where he it was a mortuary, not a mortuary, a
Night Shift.
That's
That
Night
was a
Shift.
movie though.
Yeah, I
The
know, but he
movie,
was
though.
on there was a TV show he used to pop up on periodically, I thought
Okay.
too. but Maybe I'm
wanna say he was in
misremembering
a
too.
TV show, yeah.
But anyhow, that being said, speaking of bosom buddies anyway, I'm going to China. Gonna get Rush Hour 4 made.
It's there now.
Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker. We're making more movies in Hollywood, but we're doing it in China. So here's I couldn't believe this headline, and I said this to Andre. He looked at me like I was reading him a tabloid headline at first. And this actually had the most conversation before the show, not the Punisher stuff, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So Rush Hour 4 director Brett Ratner reportedly heading to China with Trump to scout locations. So that's just the headline, but I think Trump is on his way over there to talk with the government, and it just happens to coincide with his scouting some locations for China. I'm assuming
he's there now. They've landed, and it's also with Tim Cook, Elon Musk, and there's another bigwig, another billionaire. So Brett's probably in the back of the plane.
yeah. Here's because this is what I said as well. This thing here, this location scouting, if anything, that's an excuse. What they're really doing is that they're having an unannounced meeting between American bigwigs and Chinese bigwigs to decide how they're going to rule the world without Europe or without anyone else getting involved with it, because it's not any kind of official summit. This is something that they made up. So it's like, hey, we're a business thing. Let's talk business. And that's when they're really going to set the stage and decide what happens going forward. That's what I think. That this is not really about any movies. That's an excuse. That's creating a business reason for going.
I still feel like this is not good for Rush Hour 4, as I brought up before the show, because regardless of whatever reason Trump's going over there for, It is now connected to this. He's been heavily connected to this film regardless. And to me, this is the same problem we had with the left for the last decade in Hollywood, is that you had too much association with politics. Is that going to bury this film, or is this movie going to be like the movie's success if it fails? Is that going to reflect on Trump, or how do you guys see that? Because to me, I feel like that's a bad combination, because you're going to reject some folks because of it. And then, like I said, you're going to have the press and everybody else judging, the film's success or not. And it's going to be tied to Trump. What do you guys think about that? I think that's a mistake.
Kind of feel go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, no, you go first.
Well,
You're the American. You go first.
I kind of feel like that's really just sort of the state we're in now, if you know what I mean, Tom, because somebody was making the point, we were talking about the Odyssey earlier, right? And they think that the point of this casting and all this stuff on the Odyssey is to get the right mad. And you said this Monday, it makes seeing the movie become like a political act, right? Just like all the Gen Z turned out to go see the one battle after another, right? So it becomes a political act now to go see the Odyssey. And now on the other hand, maybe this is the right playing that. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll say, hey, you got to go see the new Trump Rush Hour Trump version or whatever. Maybe that's the game they're playing. I don't know.
And I think that's a mistake. I see where and that's exactly the thing I'm coming at too. Yeah. And I remember saying, about
I don't know if it's going to pay off or not, if it's a mistake or not, but there's so many, we mentioned the normies a lot, and that's the normies are the people that don't get as granular as us. If you're in the chat or you're watching the show, you don't get as granular as we do, right? You might not even know what woke means, or this audience does. This audience is savvy, but most normies, they don't know. They don't even know what John Bernthal's politics are. They just watched The Punisher when they saw the commercial on Disney Plus. So Rush Hour 4 is going to get butts in seats, but you're right. It's going to be pitched as a Trump.
Well, they better hope so anyway, because the third film didn't do that well. It did okay, but it didn't do comparatively to the first two.
It's been so long. I think that it might. Go ahead, Paulie.
Well, one note I just wanted to add is that this movie hasn't even shot yet. So by the time, by the time it shoots, schedules, all that stuff, it's probably going to be released well after Mr. Trump is
that's true. I was going to point that out too.
Out of office. And I think the Brett Ratner connection won't go away in regards to him and Trump. That's one thing that's gonna be there. But I think if it's a good film, the love for Chris not Chris Rock. What's his
Chris
name?
Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Jackie Chan.
Not Chris Pratt either, but
Chris Pratt and Jackie Tucker. I think we'll rise.
Chris Chang and
Chris Chan. Yeah, I think their star power will rise to the occasion, especially with
I hope so.
I thought that was Alan Ng there for a second there. I thought
see Chris Tucker back on camera again,
Oh, I just wish I bet you speaking of I bet Jackie Chan wishes he looked that good still. Cause there's the thing, guys. Here's the other problem with this movie. Am I the only one here who saw the new Karate Kid film?
You mean that he's not riding that Karate Kid wave right now with this movie?
But again, I asked the question.
He's not riding anything because he's barely capable.
I raised my hand. I answered.
Yeah. So me and Paulie are the only ones who've seen the film, right?
Yeah.
He's old as fuck.
Yeah.
Motherfucker ain't gonna be able to do shit. It's not gonna be called Rush Hour. It's gonna be wait for Jackie Chan an hour because it's gonna take him that long to get there. Like, this is not gonna be what we think it is. It's gonna be Chris Tuckering it up for 2 hours probably, and Jackie Chan just running behind him going, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's about it probably. And he's probably gonna have some daughter that's gonna come in and do all the action for him. You watch.
Geriatric Rush Hour.
And this is what I'm saying. We're gonna be all hopes on this, and I feel like it's gonna be a big fucking piece of shit. Because I'll tell you what, the third one was a big fucking piece of shit, and I didn't really even care for the second one all that much. To me, it was a one and done. Like the second one was kind of a overblown. Like the best scene is the fucking scene in the karaoke bar. Like that's the best scene in the whole film. Like to me, honestly, it's not much of a franchise, but. Look, if the audience wants it and they go see it, that's all that matters. But I have a feeling a lot of people are going to go, "Oh, Jackie's looking old" when they see the trailer, because a lot of people did not go see that Karate Kid film, and he has not been in a whole lot otherwise since, has he? Otherwise, because that's what you're saying, Andre. Like, I don't think he's been doing much.
At least not that's available in the West. I'm sure he may have done things in the East, but not in the West. There's not many things that's been released.
And there was a recent video of him walking around. You see that, Tom? Chan?
No.
Looks very viejo. You know, it just.
What the hell does that mean?
Oh, learn some Spanish.
I know some, but I don't know that. But what was it? So whatever I do, don't order anything on the menu that's marked viejo. Okay, got it.
Yes, correct.
No.
You do not want de viejo bread. So
Viejo huevos.
He's looking really old, Jackie Chan.
No, that means special to you.
Hey, look viejo. hey, let's talk like this.
Mo Sislak is in the house. How you doing, Mo? I feel like I should do this as Mo's voice almost. Mo's Tavern. Anyway, Chris, follow up on Bleeding Fool on the numbers for the show. Also, Dark Side Phil, Notorious E-Beggar, and Wanker used to wear a Punisher shirt. It's fairly mainstream for non-fans.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of like
cool shirt, man. It's
the
just
logo,
a cool shirt, man.
Yeah.
Come on, skull.
Thank you
we
for
will
that.
follow up on those numbers.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm curious how that factors out. But Pack of Protons in the house again says with 2. Prediction: Mando and Grogu will make 250 million to 310 million total. I think this is a pretty conservative prediction, and most likely. What do you guys think?
If those are the numbers, that's a catastrophe.
Yeah,
that is not good. It needs to go over 400.
Well, this kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier in the show. Men have kind of turned their nose up at movies right now. They're not trusting shit. Otherwise, Mortal Kombat would have played. And this kind of goes into another story we didn't get to that we probably don't have much time for, but we broached and brought up a few times now, that Masters of the Universe is not looking good for its opening.
Nope. We have the recent tracking figures. Tom, what are the recent tracking figures?
25 million opening.
And this is for a movie where they will admit
$200 million.
Cost of 170. No, they said, it wasn't 200 million, so it's fine. It was 170.
They spent like 35 million just to get the rights.
Yeah. And they also had to buy out previous adaptations. And
I think that was where I was factoring in the 35 million, but it could be more. You're right. Yeah.
It has to be more than that. But anyway, they say 170 million production. I'm sure it's significantly more than that. So let's just say 200 million. Now, the saving grace here is that it's Amazon, so it really doesn't matter what it makes or not. But by any kind of conventional metric, if it does get a $25 to $30 million opening weekend for a $200 million movie, that's a complete and total disaster.
You know, to put the Grogu thing to bed, that's about the same amount of money that Solo earned. So I think it'll do just slightly better than Solo. As for the Masters of the Universe, I mean, I'm sure you guys know the first one at the height of He-Man's popularity, I think only totaled out at 17 million total.
Actually,
there's an asterisk to that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, that wasn't
okay.
A lot of people would think that
more recent, right?
It was recent, but it came too late because it was already dead. The brand was dead.
2 years dead.
So has Kevin Smith revived the brand, or is
no? He heard it.
So that's my point. So there's my point, right?
Yeah, if anything, Kevin Smith did more damage to this opening than anything.
Chris is just poking at Tom at this point.
I'm poking. No. I am, but I do think that. I think that the brand does not have the heft that it used to. I think Amazon has overspent on this, and I just don't think it's going to do well. And
agree.
And we've criticized it. We've seen everything about it. Go ahead.
One more thing about Masters.
Yeah.
Is I don't think people are sold on the lead.
That's a problem too. Yeah.
That's a big problem. At least with, you got the man, you got the puppet, and you got the other stuff.
It doesn't even have the Superman thing going for it. With at least with Corn Sweat, he was at least charming, right? Like I don't see. I've seen one thing with this kid, and he does not seem charming at all. Go ahead, Andre. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. It's actually a little bit worse because I will say it looks good, but I have to say that the thing that interests me the least about this movie is actually He-Man himself.
Yeah.
So we have a He-Man where, fine, he looks good as Adam. I don't like how he looks as He-Man in the slightest.
Yeah.
And then there's Skeletor, who looks good until he opens his mouth, and it's Jared Leto.
Right.
Then I lose interest there as well.
And I'm more afraid of all the gay jokes and everything else. And I was thinking again, and this just dawned on me last night, Andre. Could Adam be in pink and purple because of the guy who was colorblind at Filmation? Because remember in the original comics, he was gray and blue?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't even think of that until yesterday all of a sudden. I'm like, wait a minute here.
Well, I didn't think about it until very recently, but...
Because for those who don't know, remember, that's why Star Trek had pink fucking tribbles. Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
No, I'm just playing into what you're saying is that, like, this is not really a chiseled manly man. It's got to be a difference between... Adam and He-Man.
Well, that's the other problem I have with the movie is everybody knows he's He-Man, but He-Man, right? Like that's the opposite of what it should be. But I'm sitting here thinking about it yesterday because I was like, it makes me wonder if that's why that animation director, I forget his name, but you know who I'm talking
Sutherland.
about. Thank you, Hal Sutherland, who nobody ever questioned because he was the boss, but they found out years later that motherfucker was colorblind. And that's why everything on Star Trek looked all fucked up too, because
to be clear, you're talking about Star Trek, the animated series.
Yes, the animated series now, because on the series, like you had things that would normally brown or gray would come up purple or pink, and nobody would question him.
Yeah.
Because he was the boss. So for years, we ended up with these weird things and nobody said anything, and it turns out that Hal Sutherland just happened to be colorblind.
Love it.
And I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute. In the original comic where Adam was originated, which it happened to be in a Mattel DC comic, right? In one of the mini comics, he was wearing, I believe, a blue top with gray pants, if I'm not mistaken, or vice versa, one of those two. And then I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute, why the fuck would you put a loud ass pink fucking outfit on him with purple pants? Oh, maybe because Hal Sutherland was fucking colorblind. That's why.
Private chat.
Anyhow, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you'd find that interesting, though. Yeah. So anyway, here's a good example. Great example. Yeah, thank you. Besides the tribbles, the tribbles you can kind of get away with, but this one is the glaring one. Why would the Klingons be wearing fucking purple?
Shit, that looks like me before I shaved the other day.
It does look like you. Just put a hat on him.
I love it.
So yeah, this looks like what we're looking at is
what are we looking at?
It's you yelling at Skinny Mike.
We're looking at Klingons from Star Trek, the animated series. And for those who are just listening, their uniforms look like the uniforms that they had in the original series. But the coloring is purple and a purplish pink. And they're supposed to be grayish. But Hal Sutherland, the one who chose all the colors, he chose those. No one questioned it. But it's because he was colorblind and he didn't see the color pink and purple.
And blue and gray usually get mistaken with purple, because my cousin's colorblind.
Well,
and he'll have a hard time seeing. It does, but like he has a hard time with green and red, and it all comes out gray to him.
Yeah,
so he'll have the same thing here, but when he does it, it's gray. It's those colors instead of the pink and blue. But
it's a different. It's different types of color blindness. I think there's 3 varieties.
Right, but I was just using it as an example. Like usually it's a specific color or a certain spectrum that they can't see specifically right. They see the opposite of that spectrum, or
so that it's opposite. It's that it blends in with all the other colors in the background.
Or that too could be, because that was the way he always told me. Like he's like, when you go to, because he always told me like, when you go to a stoplight, he goes, the only reason I know which one's red and which one's green is because which one's on the left and which one's on the right. He goes like that's the only way we're on top or bottom. He goes because otherwise, if they were he goes, they all look gray to me besides the yellow light, is what he explained it to me.
Yeah.
or what he understands is what gray looks like to us. Basically, is the way he explained it.
Yeah.
So
Hal Sutherland, he could tell red from green, but he couldn't tell pink from gray.
Exactly. And I'm thinking of that yesterday. All of a sudden it dawned on me. I'm like, maybe that's why Adam's wearing fucking pink.
That probably is the reason.
Because I don't think he was ever meant to look like that.
And adding to that is that the Gazeltine presentation.
It does not help.
It doesn't, man. It doesn't,
And then you add in the Prince Valiant cut and all that business. No.
Yeah. But I got to bounce.
Not like
I'm going to go live in 5 minutes. So,
all right. Well, Paul, head on to Paulie's show. I'm sure this is going to bounce you over there anyway. But yeah, no.
It does. You don't have to go anywhere because this stream redirects to Paulie's stream.
I think we got 1 or 2 more super chats here before we go. But thanks for being here, Paulie, and hang out here with us until we're done, and then he'll send you over there.
I'm going to take off real quick, but after that, I'm taking Mom to see Michael.
Oh,
cool.
We're
number one movie in America.
Number 1 spot again. So we'll see how this weekend rolls for it. Speaking of Michael, we just dropped a video yesterday that people should check out.
We did. Check out the video. You probably had no idea that we dropped the video because notifications weren't sent because the first 10 people that got them didn't see the video right away. And that means YouTube decided, people don't go care about this, just kill it. So
it's about the Simpson episode they don't want you to see.
Yeah, and it's the video that YouTube doesn't want you to see, evidently.
But yeah, to just to make sure that Pack of Protons feels like he got his $2 worth, which I feel like he did. But to answer his main question, I agree with you. I think this is probably where Mando and Grogu is going to land, unless, here's a big asterisk, unless, because it does have a week or 2 to breathe. The movie's good. If the movie is good, then you might get some people to go see it. That's where I'm wondering if Mortal Kombat 2 might have a bump this weekend, but there was a mixed reaction to Mortal Kombat 2. I think that movie's done with. Mando has a chance, but from what the reactions we heard from people we know and generally trust, like Chris Gore and others who saw that preview of it, the extended preview, it's just more of the same and nothing really that stupendous. So I don't feel like it's going to move the barometer all that much one way or the other. So I think about 300-400 million is probably a good place to figure it'll land. If you guys don't disagree, we can move on from there.
You'll move on.
Eddie Fregoso says with $2, Rush Hour 4 at Paramount thought it was a New Line. It was, but it got put into turnaround because New Line wasn't interested in it. And I believe all the business with Ellison and Trump and Ratner, it all came together in a perfect storm to make Rush Hour 4 happen over at Paramount instead. So that's why. Is my understanding. It's just,
well, now doesn't Warner Brothers own New Line?
Yes, that was my point. Is they opted not to make it. They had the option to, and I believe it's probably under some other the main ownership of it might be under some other production company, probably Jackie Chan's or something like that, to where they were able to shop it around.
I could still see if the movie ever gets made, right?
Oh, it's getting made.
Okay, but if Paramount distributes it, I could still see New Line Cinema's logo somewhere at the beginning if Paramount also gets to purchase Warner Brothers.
Well, that's the other side of it too, right? Now, if that happens, then it doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, it could.
Yeah, right.
Because in that way they can box set them together. Because let's be real, like a lot of times it doesn't really matter if one of these sequels makes a bunch of money or not, because they just put them in with the box set and they make money that way.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, one feeding into the other.
Nobody liked Lethal Weapon 4 either. I mean, come on.
Hey, I actually liked Lethal Weapon 4.
Of course you did.
I liked it. I loved it.
Yeah. In fact, I kind of hope they just don't make a Lethal Weapon 5, because that was almost now, this many years beyond, it's almost like, you know what? Let's just leave it there.
Because Danny Glover he's.
Well, that's my point, right? Like, he's so old. I mean, well, they're going to, or at least they're trying to, I guess, because Richard Donner, rest in peace, had wanted to make one before he died, and I guess he had said, if I don't live long enough to make this happen, it's on you, Mel. And I guess he had kind of gotten the green light after he was done with Passion of the Christ. That was the thing he wanted to finish first. So we'll see if it happens or not. I mean, he's kind of made a bit of a leeway back into Hollywood. So it's a possibility, especially if Passion of the Christ 2 is a huge hit.
Yeah.
Then Lethal Weapon 5 is a guarantee.
Murtaugh will be 89 years old.
I know, right? Well, it's going to be, look, it's going to be
me in the original movie.
Let's be real. It's going to be basically Mel Gibson's last hoorah. He's going to be the one going, I'm too old for this shit through the whole movie.
Oh, gosh.
Donald
boss.
Glover
Yeah.
is going to have about 1 or 2 cameos at the beginning, middle, and end.
Chief of police retiring.
And it's going to be about Chris Rock and Mel Gibson dealing with their 2 kids who want to be cops. You watch.
Yeah, love it.
That's going to be the plot. I guarantee it.
No Joe Pesci.
Oh, Joe will be there, but it'll just
be
a cameo. Yeah, of course. But yeah. Anyway, Ike says China's dystopian slave state hellhole teaches kids to hate and harm USA and Japan. Also, can't wait to discuss Highlander take. You are missing Tom. Highlander take I'm missing. You'll have to fill me in on what take I'm missing there. Ike you can always DM me on X or something like that. But yeah, as far as the new film, I've been kind of keeping up as much as I can. There's been very little come out. I think you guys just did a story not too long ago, Chris, on some of the newer photos that just came out. But yeah, we're getting little bits and pieces of that. So I don't know much about that, but unless you mean something in the old movies or something like that, just fill me in. You don't have to send in another super chat, but yeah. Anyway, on China's dystopian slave state hellhole, you guys got anything to say about that?
No lies detected. No lies detected.
No lies detected. Indeed. So let's move on.
Yeah, indeed. And then we got 50 Norwegian Corona from Accident Seller, who says, recently watched Polanski's The Ninth Gate. Frank Langella was amazing in it, and the soundtrack was amazing. Emmanuel Signier, did I say that right? As sexy as always.
Pretty close. Yeah, pretty close.
Signier?
It's French, and I can't do French because that French is the Danish of Latin languages, and so I have to be completely drunk.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen the Ninth
Johnny Depp movie.
It is, but I'm trying.
Yes,
he had like 3 movies.
Movie.
He had like 3 or 4 movies all out about the same time in that era that all had similar names. I'm trying to remember which one's which.
Well, this is the one with,
engravings.
The engravings with the portal to hell and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm reading the synopsis right now.
Yeah,
it's fantastic movie. It's in my
I think I've seen it.
Book, Polanski's second best work after The Fearless Vampire Killers, which to me remains his finest. It's a brilliant movie.
Forget it, Andre. It's Chinatown.
Well, that's his third best movie.
I just had to say it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've got to rewatch this one. I haven't seen this one in years, I don't think. Because I kept getting it mixed around with like the other, because there's like 2 or 3 other Johnny Depp movies. There's From Hell, and then there's the other one where it's the Stephen King
that's
one.
Jack the Ripper, based on an Alan Moore comic.
Yep. And then there's the Stephen King.
And this
then it's the writer thing.
I think he goes to hell in this one. So
and then there was the writer's one from Stephen. Like all 3 of them came out really close to each other.
Yeah.
And this is the only one I think I liked of those 3, if I remember correctly.
From Hell has actually nothing to do with hell. That's just the name of the letters from Jack the Ripper. From the alleged.
Which is why I think I get them confused, is why I had to go look it up.
Yeah, indeed. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So no. That one's one due for a remaster probably. Because I just saw Fight Club last night for the first time since it came out.
Oh, okay.
Because I notoriously didn't like it when it first came out.
Oh.
And my opinion hasn't changed all that much.
Okay.
Fincher is just way too pretentious with that movie. I'm sorry. I liked it better than I did back in the day.
That movie, you could have just ended it at pretentious.
Yeah.
Indeed. Pretentious. Moving on. Ike has been a member for 9 months and says, cinematography made that movie. No one mentions it in the upcoming remake. Why it will fall short. So glad.
It's funny because I believe, I remember Roger Ebert gave it a good review.
Highlander now?
Yes. He gave it a good review, but I don't think he said that the movie itself looked all that great. Although it did have the thing is with that movie, and you're 100%
it's one of
right.
the most 80s looking movies outside of Manhunter.
And I think they'll end up emulating a lot of the transitions, but the problem with that now is there's going to be nothing stupendous about them. The difference between the transitions then and now is that was nearly impossible to do a lot of those transitions then. That's why some of them were even done with video effects, which is weird. But now you could just do that on a computer with one button
with a lot of those crazy transitions they did, because that was one of the things that helped sell that beyond just the cinematography and all that kind of business. So we'll see how they handle it. They might go a completely different route with it. So, but yeah, no, I agree with you. The cinematography is a big part of that, and Andre's right. It captures that gritty 80s feeling very, very well. And we're caught up on the Rumble side. So with that, Chris, what do you got going on over at Bleeding Fool?
Well, it's hump day over at Bleeding Fool, so we're doing the usual. We've got a one of our resident writers is not exactly on brand for Bleeding Fool. He's a classic liberal and an atheist, but he's got a pretty good write-up going through the original series of Star Trek and talking about the conservative liberal political divide. That's at the top. We also explore a little bit into what Kenneth Branagh, I think I mentioned it Monday, wanting to do a Thor in the vein of Logan. So that's stuff over on the front page of bleedingfool.com. Check it out. You can check me out on X at Chris Brawley and subscribe to Bleeding Fool at Bleeding Fool. And be sure to hit the like button on this. We aren't getting enough likes. Like. Come on, guys.
Yeah, please do. Please do. We do need your guys' help now when this AI-driven platform has decided, no, not good enough. This is not random enough. This is a little bit too close to truth. So
Get those likes.
do help share.
And not to drag this out more, but this is something I didn't say much. I don't think I mentioned the other day about the whole Kenneth Branagh thing. It's like, I feel like that's where they fucked this all up with Marvel, besides the woke business and the MCU. Is not just Marvel, but in general with DC and everything else. Is because we had a point here where comic book movies weren't taken very seriously. And then boom, 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 you had 3 comic book movies that were directed by 3 of the best directors we had at that time. And still arguably some of the best directors, right? Yeah. And you would think that the moment that the floodgates opened when comic book movies were the most successful, they would have ushered in and tried to get the Scorseses and the Spielbergs involved and tried to get a Ridley Scott, I hate to say it, but somebody like that to get some pedigree in there to kind of make these movies a little bit more cinematic and a little bit more important and a little bit more part of our, natural film language. Because I'm telling you right now, the reason Martin Scorsese's right, and they're not cinemas, because they're basically just big TV shows where Kevin Feige's the showrunner now, instead of having actual voices to these films, where there's a big difference between watching the original Thor and then you come to Thor Love and Thunder, right? It's just, I can't believe they fucked up what could have been one of the best things ever, where we could have had some of the best directors. I mean, we started this with Christopher Nolan directing a fucking Batman movie, right? You want to go even farther back, Richard Donner directing a Superman movie, right? The guy who did, The Omen, for fuck's sake. So I just can't believe we got through this point where when Sam Raimi turned around and finally made another comic book movie and it ended up being Multiverse of Madness instead of a Spider-Man movie or something worthwhile. It's just sad.
What a shame.
But anyhow, that being said, Andre, anything to lead us out?
Rain.
Go.
Koalas in the rain. Koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koala. Koalas in the rain. Koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koala. Koalas in the rain. Koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain.